Hi everyone, Jamie Shoblin here, and welcome back to another episode of Shop Talk. And this week, the Maryland Supreme Court released its written opinion explaining why it blocked the referendum on Frederick County's critical digital infrastructure overlay expansion. The opinion provides some important context because the court made it clear it wasn't deciding whether or not data centers are good policy for Frederick County or whether or not Frederick County made the right decision there. Instead, the court was answering a legal question about Frederick County's charter. The court concluded that the CDI overlay expansion was a zoning action and therefore not referable law under the charter. It also found that the petition didn't meet the charter's technical requirements because it didn't include a full and accurate reproduction of the ordinance's maps. Whether you supported or oppose the referendum process, understanding the court's reasoning is important. It's how our legal system works. The courts are here to interpret the law as it's written, and they don't decide what the policy should be. But as I read the opinion, drawing on my paralegal background and having worked a session in Annapolis, for me, it raises an important conversation that goes beyond this one case. So Maryland has traditionally handled most zoning disputes through public hearings and judicial review instead of allowing voters a say in that process. And that's certainly one approach. But other states have taken a different path. States like Arizona, California, Ohio, Vermont, Maine, they allow voters a greater role in determining what happens with zoning decisions that have broader community impacts. So neither approach is inherently right or wrong, it just reflects a different set of values. Here's the question I've been thinking about though. When a zoning decision affects an entire county like the CDI overlay, should it be treated the same as a traditional zoning matter? Or should countywide zoning actions with significant policy implications have a different process for public participation and accountability? Think about the issues we've been facing: data centers, transmission lines, the environmental impacts, the health impacts, and all of these things that are going to shape Frederick County's future for decades. These aren't just one project issue, they have countywide and regional impacts. So I'm not suggesting that the court got their interpretation wrong. They're interpreting the law that exists today. But if our community thinks that these kinds of decisions deserve a different process, then a different conversation needs to be had with policymakers and the public, not the courts. So that's this week's Shop Talk. I'd love to hear what you think. Should countywide zoning decisions with far-reaching impacts continue to follow the traditional process, or is it time to have a conversation about whether Maryland should look to what other states do and consider a different approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll read them. And if you have an idea on a future Shop Talk episode, let me know that too.